Yeah, so I travel a lot with Lindsay speaking at events. I've done a lot of TV stuff, like I've been on Martha Stewart and the Today Show, and you can ask me about Martha later if you want. Yeah, so I basically travel the country with this little plastic guy right here. If any of you follow me, his name is The Angry Baby. I don't have kids. So to be in this space and not have children is interesting, especially for my FedEx and UPS people, because my apartment is full of strollers and car seats. So this event is structured basically like a synopsis. I'm also a CPST, a child passenger safety tech. So we're going to talk a little bit about car seat installation and proper car seat use, talk about like strollers, baby carriers, just like basic stuff, and do a lot of Q&A. If you have any questions, okay? How many of you are actually pregnant right now? Raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand if this is your first pregnancy. Okay, we're gonna start, just so I can like get a sense of what's going on here. We're gonna start with car seats. Car seats, there are three basic styles. We'll really just talk about infant and convertible really quick. Infant seats have two characteristics that set them apart from other car seats. You have a base and the bucket, okay? Raise your hand if you do not know what latch is. And don't be ashamed. If I ask questions and you have great shame, you don't know? You don't know what latch is? It's all right, dude. Okay. Latch stands for lower anchors and tethers for children. It's standard in vehicles 2003 on. The Nuna Pippa is the only, it's one of the only infant car seats with a rigid latch base. Okay, so typically with latch, you put it in, you have to like put your knee in and tighten it, whatever. This honestly allows you to just click it into place. Okay, so it's super easy. If you're using a seat belt, it also has what's called a built-in lock-off. Raise your hand if you have no clue what that is. Okay, built-in lock-offs. You know when you pull your seatbelt out and you pull it all the way out and it like locks and then it goes kick back in and then you're stuck? That's called a switchable retractor. Okay, and when you're installing a car seat, that's what you have to have is a switchable retractor, or you have to use these awful things called locking clips, and they suck. So when you're shopping for your infant car seat, there are two features. I'll show you, one on here, one on here. You want to make sure your base has a built-in lock-off. Okay, if you have to install it with the seat belt. So basically what you do, did you see these holes on the side? That's your belt path, that's where you thread your seat belt. You put your seat belt through here, you clip it down, you tighten it, and then you just slam that into place, and it locks your seat belt down for you. Okay, so it's a lot easier. The Pippa also has a load leg. How many people have never seen one of these before? Okay, a load leg, they're pretty standard in Europe. It acts as a third point of attachment in your car. Okay, it touches the floorboard, because you have to remember this is rear facing. So what that does, in the event of a collision, a lot of that crash energy is going to go through the base and be transferred through the leg down to the floorboard of your car, and also helps eliminate any kind of rotation or rebound if you were in a collision. Okay, that makes sense? Yes. There are also, you will notice, a lot of bases have levels built in, okay? You have to make sure your base is at the proper level for what your child weighs. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, okay? Now the fun thing about bases is they are not necessary at all, okay? They're really just an ease of use feature. Every infant car seat currently available for purchase on the market can be installed just like this with a seatbelt, okay? You see, some of you may not be able to, the blue like belt path here on the side. Okay, that's where your seat belt is going to go. A feature that I harp on, especially in like urban environments where you're dealing with cabs or you travel a lot, is a European belt path. Does everyone know what that is? Okay, when you install, if your car seat has a European belt path, your lap belt goes across the front, and the shoulder belt goes around here in the back. So you get a really secure install without a base that way, okay? The Nuna Pippa is very light. It has a great canopy. And you'll notice in here, raise your hand if you don't know what a chest clip is. Okay, chest clips are basically the reason you don't put pictures of your kids in car seats on Facebook. all the car seat safety groups, they will find your photo somehow and they will publicly shame you when you want to avoid that. For years they will. They will make your life a live. How many old toddlers? Sometimes I use swear words and I cuss in front of kids and I do that. Your chest clip goes armpit to armpit. Okay, there's no real reason for chest clips. They're designed to break as part of like crash energy management in a collision. They're not even legal in other countries. And the reason you want it armpit to armpit is if it's too high and it breaks, there are arteries up here that could be severed, and if it's too low and it breaks, it could lead to internal organ damage. There's no data to back that ever happening up, so just keep it armpit to armpit, okay? And it's one of the things when kids get older, they'll always play with it. You gotta smack them. Trying to think, how are we doing on time? Convertibles. Anybody have quick questions about this real quick? We can touch later.
How much does it weigh?
The Pippa, I want to say, is around 7.5 to 8 pounds. It's light. Yeah, it's one of the lighter ones on the market. Convertible car seats are called convertible because they rear face and forward face, okay? The AAP recommends rear facing until your child is at least 2 or they outgrow the weight and height limits of your seat. And how you know your child has actually outgrown the weight and height of your seat, they are stated. But read your instructions. It's this magical book that comes with your car seat. Typically in a rear-facing seat, if they have not hit the stated weight or the height, a lot of parents freak out when their legs start dangling over the edge here. They think their kids are going to be uncomfortable and they're going to have some kind of leg injury if you're in a collision. There's no data to back up leg injuries in a rear-facing seat. Okay, it's not how crash forces work. So their legs can go whatever you want. It's torso height, okay? Typically in a rear-facing seat, you have until an inch below the top of the car seat shell, okay? So give them about that much room. Once you flip them around, it's the top of the shell, top of the ears, okay, for height. With harness placement, in a rear-facing seat, you want the harness at or below the shoulders. And the reason for that is if I was in a rear-facing seat and we're going this way, all of this energy, everything will keep going this way until it's held down. Okay, so by having the harness at or below the shoulders, you're going to hold the kid down inside the car seat shell as much as possible. Okay, once you flip forward, it's at or right above shoulders. Does that make sense? Okay, we'll go to questions about car seats here in a minute. Now with strollers, this is the UPPAbaby Vista. I'd easily say it's one of the more popular strollers on the market. It's a modular stroller system, which means it comes with a bassinet, it comes with this stroller seat, and you can snap infant car seats on it, kind of like a travel system. UPPA, they're based right outside of Boston, and they have huge, I'll just take this seat off because it's easier to show you guys. They have huge sun canopies on the stroller. Okay, so it's really good for like UV protection. The seat is also reversible, so you can like talk to your kid and like hang out, and then when you're tired of dealing with him, you turn the seat around. You don't need to talk to them all the time. They have a huge basket underneath as well, and the bag is spring-loaded, so you have easy access. This is the 2015 Vista, which is actually the new rumble seats also recline, and like it'll hold 2 car seats, and it's really, really cool. So in terms of like an adaptable stroller, a seat clips on down here, and then this moves up. So it turns into a double tandem. And there are other double tandems on the market, but I played with this guy, good Lord, was that the fall of last year at ADC? Yeah. And I fully weighed it down, and with full weight in both seats, it maneuvers a lot better than something like the City Select, which is what a lot of people compare it immediately to. The Fold is great. This is a new one. So the Fold is a lot easier, pretty compact, okay? And you can even drag it. So you don't have to carry it. You can drag it like a sled. It's fine. Any stroller questions? Questions at the end? Okay, fine.
Questions at the
Sassy.
end, guys. I also interviewed him earlier.
So,
I'll have that on the blog.
What else to chat about? Your high chairs, for example. High chairs, I actually sit, we're giving a Stoka away. I sit in this Trip Trap at my desk. It's gray. They're designed to go from 6 months up to 300 pounds, okay? It's 30 inches high, so Stoka designed this years ago to like immediate family interaction at the table. You can buy trays and whatnot for it, but it's kind of nice to just have them hanging out. You can like feed them as you eat. But it's one of the only high chairs that really has true adjustable foot support. And it's important in a high chair because they call it bar stool effect. And if you sit on a bar stool, which I do frequently, if you don't have foot support, as your weight shifts, it gets very uncomfortable. So because the Trip Trap has fully adjustable foot support, they actually sit longer. And it's the same for strollers. So you want to look for good foot support in a stroller. I use this every single day of my life, and it's actually comfortable. Baby carriers. There are a ton of baby carriers on the market. There are wraps, there are slings, there are soft structured. I typically suggest starting with a wrap in the beginning. It's not that hard. It's a big piece of fabric, but there's this magical site called YouTube. You can go on and like find instructional videos. Then you can go into something like the Ergo. The Ergo's great. You can use these from birth, but you have to use these infant inserts that can be a little hot. Ergos were really like the first mainstream adjustable soft structured carrier. Everybody was very familiar with Bjorns in the beginning, but these are a little bit more comfortable, and you can use them on the front, side, and the back. Okay, so they're like really multi-purpose. There are different versions of this guy, including the 360, which actually allows your kid to face out. And in the baby wearing community, there's a lot of like controversy about facing outward and whatever, because they say it like, Rex, your kid is going to get like ADD or something, and like they vocally they won't develop, and they're going to get overstimulated and overtired. There's no data to back that up. The problem with forward facing in a carrier is people do it too soon. You want to make sure your kid has head and neck control. A lot of people start like at 2 months, and the kids just kind of do that, and it's not what we want. So at 6 months, space them out. If you see that your kid is getting cranky and tired, it's called parenting, and you turn them around. It's super easy. Parenting, it's a gig. What else? The Four Moms Mamaroo, we're also giving this guy away. We're giving everything away up here except for my child. Sorry, I know it sucks. Four Moms is basically like a baby gear company run by a bunch of science nerds. The Mamaroo is very, very cool. They put sensors on people's backs and studied like what movements they did to calm their children down. They put all of that data into computers, and that's in the base of this guy. So it has a lot of different settings and speeds, and like it's very, very fun. You can play your own music as well. You hook up your iPhone so you don't have to listen to crap. And then Four Moms, in the parenting win move of the year, you can now control the seat with an app on your phone, so you don't even have to get up.
Awesome.
It's great. Everything else we can kind of talk about as we give it away.
Want to take some questions?
Yeah, let's do questions. Anything at all. Don't be shy. Yeah. Does the Up a Baby foldable seats? Technically you could, but it's bulky. So it's easier just like snap it off. Yeah, a lot of times with strollers they say they like fold with the seat both directions and whatever, but you do get typically a more compact fold just by taking a seat off. And what that allows you to do also, like a lot of people complain with Bugaboo because it's 2 parts when you fold it, but it allows you to puzzle piece it into your car a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah. Just the bassinet will not fold. Yeah, the bassinet you have to take off. Yeah. Yeah. Where does the second seat attach on the Vista frame? Down towards the front wheels, there's brackets that you snap on, and then it clicks on. Yeah. Questions over here? Anything?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you keep a baby cool in the car seat?
How do you keep a baby cool in a car seat? It's tricky, especially rear facing, because there are pads that, like the Jelly-O that will go in a stroller, but you can't use them in a car seat because it hasn't been crash tested. There's a device called the Noggle that a lot of people are getting into that basically like clips into your air conditioning vent, and then it looks like a big dryer hose, and it comes around and like blows in their face.
Okay.
There are also products you can get that look like big metallic shower caps that go over the car seat to keep it from getting really hot. And there's another pad, we're actually working on a promotion with them relatively soon. You keep it in the freezer, and then you put it in the car seat real quick to keep it cold, and like cools the buckles and everything. And then you can put them in, but like rear facing, keeping them cool in a car seat is tricky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Swamp ass.
Swamp ass is real. Yeah, it's hard. Just blast the AC
Yeah.
and Taylor Swift.
Space gets pulled into the back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. Any questions at all? Yeah. Yeah.
With this, when you forward face the head adjustment,
Uh-huh.
does it really provide the same support when it's extended all the way up? It gets sort of
She's asking about in a forward-facing seat the actual like head rest of seats. You want to look at car seats that consider it structural. Okay, some car seats do not consider the headrest structural, and it's actually fine. There's no difference. They all have to pass safety standards and whatnot. Some of them do feel a little flimsier than others. Those typically are not considered a structural headrest, but that doesn't mean they're bad. You know, and a lot of people freak out with like when you start getting into like high back boosters because there's nothing to support the back there. That's normal. The seatbelt supports it for you, so it's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
So which carrier do you recommend? Is the Ergo the best one out right now?
Asking about carriers I recommend. I love Ergo. There are tons on the market, and a lot of people ask me all the time, like, what's the best one? There's no such thing. I love Ergo. I love Becco. I love Little Baby. Boba makes a really good one. Catbird Baby. If you're one of the Tula people, Tula makes a good carrier. But there are lots out there. It all depends on your body type.
And what about the wraps for the beginning?
Wrap, I love wraps.
Like the Moby?
Moby is good. I prefer the Ergo wrap in terms of like a mass market
so
wrap.
have one like that and a wrap.
Yeah. I just like wraps because it's like, if you get like a good stretch wrap like the Ergo, you can get it really tight and then the baby's on you nice and snug and it's awesome. And I mean, I used to even like pre-tie the wrap when I went home with my sister when she had the twins 5 years ago. Good God. I used to just, as soon as I get out of bed, tie a wrap on me so it was ready. And it's not like you're wearing one of these like backpack contraptions. It's just like you can do whatever during the day and like the baby's crying, you're like, boom, slide, boom, got it. You know? But I would definitely say just get familiar with tying it. It's not hard at all. And the fact that like a lot of people freak out and they're scared to baby wear because of that being overwhelming, it's like, it's not that deep. Yeah. 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 She's asking about like basically a toddler carrier. There are finally like mainstream Target carriers on the market. Lila Baby has one, Becco has one, Tula does as well. The Becco Toddler, the Soleil, is actually really nice because you want to make sure it has a higher back. The problem with Ergo for toddlers and like bigger kids, Ergos notoriously have a shorter seat back for the back support, and the seat is not as wide for kids as their legs get longer. So if you get a toddler carrier, they are designed with a wider seat and a higher back to give them better support. So like when kids start doing like that out of the back, it goes up to their shoulders instead of like mid-back. Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't discuss it, so
Yeah.
I just have a question. Jogging strollers.
Jogging strollers.
Is Bob the way to go?
She's asking about jogging strollers and is Bob the way to go? I would say no. The Bob, the Flex is fine. They finally made like an adjustable handle and everything, but when you jog, a lot of people jog with their kids way too early. You don't jog until your kid's around 6 to 9 months old. Check with your pediatrician to make sure they have proper head control. I've actually seen a mom blogger who reviews strollers jog with a like 2 or 3 week old child, and she just lined the stroller with blankets and like went running. She's like, I'm losing a baby weight, and it's like, who cares? But when you jog, you have to lock the front wheel. Okay, and Bob and every other jogging stroller on the market, you have to get down and like turn this knob and like mess with something, so sometimes it can be pretty nasty. The Baby Jogger Summit X3 is one of my favorite strollers. The mechanism that locks the front wheel is in the handlebar, so you can just flip it and you never have to actually leave the handlebar of your stroller, and it folds really, really well. I love the X3 and the mountain buggy terrain. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
One or two more.
One or two more? Okay, yeah.
I would like to find a baby carrier that could get a little wet when I watch my toddler while I'm doing my slightly less older than newborn
Uh-huh.
by the time next summer comes. So I'm just looking for something. I wouldn't go swimming in it, but
Sure.
I just want to be able to be in the pool, the toddler pool or wherever.
Yeah.
Are there any that are out there that are good carriers?
She's asking about carriers that not necessarily like a water sling or something like
Yeah.
that, but like carriers that are a little more water friendly than others.
Yeah.
The Boba Air actually does a really, really good job of it. It doesn't have a lot of the padding and the shoulder and the hip band, but you don't really need it. It's actually designed pretty well. The Boba Air zips up into a pouch this size. And I'm quoted on the box. But it's really good. Like, it does a good job with like any kind of wet like splashes and whatever. It's not really recommended to use as like a water carrier necessarily, but I know people that do it. But it's good. I would look at that guy. Yeah. Yeah. Asking about carriers that are a little bit more water friendly. Not in terms of like there's a carrier called Beachfront Baby that makes it out of mesh. That is not necessarily like use all day, but for like when you're going swimming or something, the water helps it grip, and because it's mesh, it breathes. But she's asking about one that could just get like a little splashed at like the splash pad or the toddler pool or something. Splash pads are a new concept to me. I'm kind of obsessed. One more question, and then we're giving things away, which is fun. Yeah.
Is anyone here able to like check the ergo fits? Because I wore it once for like a long walk and it like hurt my back.
Yeah.
So
I can.
have it adjusted for me.
Yeah. I can. Yeah. I'll check your carrier. Or your. Get her. That's what I would also say. If you have questions about like baby wearing in general, either find a specialty store or something like this where people like know what they're doing, or find your local BWI group or go online. Because if you find a chapter, they have like lending libraries as well, so you can really try like carriers out and fit and whatever, and get somebody that's actually very, very knowledgeable about baby wearing to make sure it fits properly. Yeah. You'd be amazed with that slide up and down strap. When that's in the wrong place, just half an inch down will make a huge difference. So, yep.
Okay.
Is that good?
Okay. So
Okay.
this is what we're gonna do. I need